Hi there, I'm Vincent Boss and I provide dating and self-improvement advice. And in today's podcast, we're going to be discussing why is my ex silent after our breakup? I provide audio coaching to help people try and get their ex back or get a new girlfriend or boyfriend. Check out my website for more details. www.dateme.tips. Please check your spam and junk folders if you are expecting an email from me. So now let's get back into today's podcast. And today we are discussing why is my ex silent after our breakup? So if you have been dumped and want to try to get your ex back, it can be very painful if your ex is silent. But why have they done this? In today's podcast, I'll be describing 3 reasons why your ex might be silent after the breakup. So let's get straight into this, and point number 1 is they have entered the single honeymoon period. So if you have gone through a breakup, you might be thinking, well look, you may have dumped me, but why can't we still speak? Now, depending on your specific situation, this may seem a reasonable option, or perhaps it doesn't. It does, of course, depend on your relationship, the breakup, and the aftermath. Everybody's going to be slightly different. But for a lot of people, they don't understand why their ex-dumper no longer wants to speak with them. Okay, you've dumped me, but why can we no longer talk? I'm not even necessarily saying I want to be friends, but why have you just gone silent? We were together potentially for years, and now it's as if you've just vanished into thin air. Well, point number 1, and one of the main reasons why an ex is often silent after a breakup, is because they have entered the single honeymoon period. So it's my belief that when somebody ends a relationship, they enter the single honeymoon period. And this can last roughly 6 months, sometimes even up to a year after the breakup took place. But what exactly is the single honeymoon period? Where in my belief, this is a period of time where somebody lives the single life that they felt they couldn't do when they was in a relationship with you. So this could be doing things which might seem obvious, such as potentially even dating others. Now, if you're a dumpee listening to this, that might freak you out to hear. But firstly, let me just add, it's very unlikely that somebody who ends a relationship will find a long-term compatible partner anytime soon. Of course, nothing can be guaranteed, but it's very, very unlikely that even if your ex-dumper is dating somebody new, that this will last the test of time. And I would refer to this as a rebound relationship. If you want more information about rebound relationships, then I suggest that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, ring the bell for notifications, and check out the content I have on that very subject. But for today, we're speaking about why an ex could be silent after a breakup. And like I said, point number 1 is that they've entered a single honeymoon period. And if they've done this, they are living a life that they felt they couldn't do when they was in the relationship with you. So it may be obvious, like they're dating somebody new, they couldn't do that when they was with you, but it could be things which are sometimes a little less obvious. Like perhaps they wanted to spend more time with their friends, and maybe you didn't want them spending time with their friends, or perhaps you didn't mind, but because you had so many commitments together, so much time spent together, that they just didn't have opportunity to spend time with their friends. That is another huge example of why somebody will be thinking, okay, I'm now single, I'm going to spend all the time with my friends, but I couldn't within that relationship. Other examples of a single honeymoon period could be dumpers exploring new interests and likes, hobbies, traveling, the types of things, but once again, either you didn't like them doing, or perhaps you just didn't have the opportunity to do your own thing. You neither when you was in the relationship, because you had so many responsibilities and the time you spent together. You will often find dumpers joining new classes, groups or clubs, spending time with friends, traveling, going on holidays or vacations, going to events. They are the type of things that often a dumper will do when they are in this new period of their life. But for you as a dumpee, this can feel like, well, they're doing their own thing, but why doesn't this mean they can't speak to me? Well, often it is due to the fact that by throwing themselves in to a new life, you could say, going on a different path, exploring new things, they either A, don't have the time, or B, they're thinking, look, I was in this relationship, I didn't feel it was working out, I've made this choice, and now I'm going to fully immerse myself in these new activities. So it could be a situation where it's not even something that they are rationally thinking about why they're not reaching out to you. It's just time gets away from them. Or alternatively, they might be thinking, I just want to live my single life. Now, for you as a dumpee hearing this might be concerning to you, but it is very natural and it does tend to burn out. Normally after around 6 months, sometimes it can last to around a year. And by that point, what started off as new feels old. What was bright, sparkly and exciting becomes mundane and boring. Too much of anything is not a good thing. So whatever your ex may be doing in a single life right now, eventually they're not going to want to do it anymore. That is likely what will happen. And at that point, they will often reflect on their past and potentially they may reach out to you. Nothing can be guaranteed. This is all regarding romantic emotional attraction and things that I've spoken about on my other podcasts. If you want support one-on-one, if you want to speak to me about your situation and what we can do to try to increase the chance of your ex reaching out to you, then you may want to consider my audio coaching service where me and you can speak one-on-one about your specific, unique problem. I become your coach and your teammate on your journey through breakup recovery. And even if you don't get your ex back, you can and will find somebody even better if you become a version 2.0 of yourself, growing every day and being somebody who lives life to the full. Go to my website, www.dateme.tips, for more information on my audio coaching service. So now let's get into point number 2 and the second point of today's podcast, about why is my ex silent after our breakup. And point number 2 is they need calm. So unfortunately, some people's breakups are very messy indeed. And even if your breakup wasn't particularly dramatic, there is often drama associated with a relationship that ends. Of course, this isn't always the case, but lots of breakups, they are either messy before the breakup, and that is why a breakup took place, or alternatively, they are very messy and dramatic afterwards. And in these instances, dumpers might just need calm. I've spoke to many dumpers who have told me one of the reasons why they won't speak to their ex is because they don't want to be in that dramatic frame of mind anymore. They've gone through the tears, they've gone through the upset, the stress, the arguing. Again, this may be why the breakup took place. It may be the aftermath. And if you as a dumpee is listening to this, you might be thinking, well, you caused this drama, so why on earth are you now saying that you need the calm? But we have to realise that dumpers are dumpers for a reason. They want to end a relationship because it was not going in the direction that they felt fulfilled with. So even if from your perspective, you felt that they brought the drama, they might be thinking you brought the drama, they might be thinking both of you combined was just unfortunately toxic. Whatever the reason, sometimes dumpers just feel that they need calm relaxation, they need time out, and even though they might want to speak with you again in the future, right now they think that you and themselves need space from one another. Now, I would always say that if you are a dumpee, you should implement my version of the no contact rule. Not only does it give you the best possible chance of reconnecting with your ex, in my opinion, I would also say that it is the best option for you moving forward with your mental health and growing as a person. I would always suggest that you need the calm just as much as perhaps your ex the dumper does. So even if right now all you're thinking is, I really want to sort this out, I really want to speak to my ex, if they don't want to talk with you, instead of seeing this as some type of negative, use this to your advantage and allow yourself to recover from a breakup during this time apart, during this calm, during this opportunity where they aren't communicating with you. Because trust me, you need that space as well. This isn't just about them. You might be thinking, I need to fix this right now. I need to sort this right now. Well, if they don't want to, you don't have a choice. You both need to be on the same page. So instead of getting stressed, worried and upset and, dare I say, dramatic, like they are probably worried you're going to be, I would say try and take a deep breath. Try and focus on you. Try and improve every day. Try and live your life for you and not them. And if and when they want to speak with you, you can decide if you want to in the future. Maybe they reach out to you in the future and you don't want to speak with them. It's very possible. I often hear of dumpees who, when they hear from their ex-dumper, many months, sometimes years into the future, they have got to the stage where they don't even want to anymore. And even if you don't think that will be you, you never know how you'll be thinking in those months ahead. So now let's get into point number 3 and the final point of today's podcast about why is my ex silent after our breakup. And point number 3 is they don't want to give you mixed signals. Now, I would always say if you are a dumper, unless you have some level of thought of wanting to reconnect, even if just to try and see how things go by meeting up once or twice, then don't reach out to your ex for dumpee. I would always say, don't give your ex mixed signals, and lots of dumpers will follow that advice. And what this means is that if those dumpers who follow that advice don't feel that they want to reconnect or even give us an opportunity at this moment in time, then they aren't going to reach out to you, the dumpee. And I would say as a dumpee, that's not a bad thing. You as a dumpee do not want false hope. You as a dumpee do not want to be friend-zoned. You as a dumpee want an opportunity to reconnect with your ex. Certainly if you're listening to this podcast, I would say that is very, very likely. So if your dumper reaches out to you, we can't guarantee that they want to reconnect romantically or whether they just want to connect in a platonic friendship side of things. But at least if they're only going to reach out to you if they are willing to have a conversation, then that is something. That is something to go on. That is an opportunity for you to see if you can get back together one way, shape or form. I wouldn't accept a platonic friendship if you're a dumpee, but if they're only going to reach out for you for something where there could be a level of meaning, then that is better than them reaching out to you for nothing in particular. Now, I think that if your ex-dumper reaches out to you, they are thinking of you. You know, I have a whole strategy regarding the communication stage. If you hear from a dumper about what you should be doing to try to figure out as best you can what their intentions are, whilst also growing their attraction as best as you can. You need to be making sure that the communication you are having with your ex is effective and moving things forward. And whether or not you are going to connect platonically, which, like I said, I don't really advise, or romantically, you want to be moving things into the realm where you can find out either way. You don't want to just be sticking around as almost pen pals, as texting buddies, because you can't have a relationship on the phone. It doesn't work. You got to move things along. So if your ex-dumper is not contacting you, if they are silent, if they're ignoring your messages, one of the main reasons is because they don't want to give you mixed signals. They're not feeling a vibe. They're not even considering that they want to get back together with you. They're not even considering that they want a friendship with you. They don't consider anything right now, so they're not contacting you. And I would say that's a good thing. They should only contact you if they are open to have a proper conversation, meet up, and see how the feelings are. If not, it's painful for you, it's wasting everybody's time, it's just not helpful or healthy. So for you as a dumpee, what I would say ultimately from today's podcast is focus on you, not your ex. It's about you, not them. Your life is not connected to theirs regarding your happiness. You will generate your own happiness. You can and will find somebody even better than your ex. Don't be afraid of a situation. So if your ex-dumper is not speaking to you right now, don't worry about it. If they do in the future, it could be fantastic. If they don't, you can feel even better. Your life is not connected to them. Your happiness is not connected to them. You will be fine whatever happens. With or without your ex, you will have a positive future. If you believe that this podcast has helped you, then please consider buying me a coffee. The link to do so is in the description.